serious?
Hi there guys, welcome back to the Traxxas channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, you've seen the title of the video, right? I've got a box. Let's see that box. There you go. I've got me a big box from Traxxas. The brand new, well, brand new, it's brand new to me, right? Obviously, yeah. So this is the Bronco, Ford Bronco TRX-4 scaler / crawler from Traxxas. Now, when I say new, the color scheme or the color of the car is new, at least in Europe, maybe worldwide. I'm not completely sure. Originally, this car was available in yellow, as you see it on the box here, and in red, like so. And by now there is a blue version, a black version and a white version. I have me the black version. If you know me a little bit, you probably could have guessed. Right? Black. yeah. Okay. And in this video I'm gonna unbox this car, give you my first impressions. Yeah, so again, this is not a new car, but it's new to me. And I'll, again, maybe it's new to you as well, so I'll give you my honest impressions. I bought this car with my own money. I'm not sponsored in any way by anyone. So I did get me this car from Top RC in the Netherlands, and their delivery was lightningly fast. Yeah, world record delivery. With half a day? No. Less than a day. Very quick delivery. Yeah, excellent service. And the box looks great. It got delivered by DHL. It did take a little bit longer maybe than it could have done. Again, half a day would have been possible were it not for UPS. Or DHL? DHL, sorry. Yeah, so this is a heavy box, I must say. Okay, what more can I tell you? Yeah, this is if you are completely new to this genre of cars or this model, this is a crawler with realistic looks. That's the intent of these cars. So they should be able to crawl over obstacles. They won't be fast, these cars, but they should also look close to realistic. Not 100%. For instance, it doesn't have an interior, but from the outside this car will probably look great. And we'll see in this video. Right? Okay, what can I tell you? Yeah, this the TRX-4 from Traxxas is available in a variety of flavors, as you probably know. There's a 6-wheel version, a Mercedes G-Wagon. There are several 4-wheel versions. They all have 4-wheel drive. Some have lockable diffs. This one has lockable diffs, front and rear. And I think none of them come with LEDs. They all come with a radio, and this one comes with a a more up-spec radio, because the car also has a 2-speed gearbox. So it's a 4-channel radio, probably, yeah, probably. Lots of servos in the car. Okay, that is enough blah blah. Let me rearrange the camera and show you what I got in this box. Alright, so it's probably obvious that this box is far too big for my little studio here, but we'll make do with what we got, right? So let's see what we have. And right off the back I opened the wrong side of the box. Yeah. Okay, well, let's try that again. First thing we see in the box is a white piece of foam. Their packaging, the Traxxas packaging, is definitely pretty good in my humble opinion. Then we slide out the card. And with that, the only thing that should be left in the box is the radio, which we will take a look at in a second. Come on, give me my car box. And there we go. We've got ourselves a Ford Bronco TRX-4 from Traxxas. And yeah, the body is a little bit shrink wrapped, no, not shrink wrapped, simply plastic wrapped. Okay, let me get rid of that. Okay, actually more than I had anticipated. We got that first layer off, but there's a screen protector still on the top. Not sure if you'll be able to see that, but when I take it off, is there a satisfying noise? Little bit, and we got some on the hood as well. There we go. Now we've got a car, nice and shiny. Nice and shiny. Whoa, it looks better than I had anticipated. Yeah, it's black on black on black. So maybe to you there's not a whole lot of detail here. We'll do close-ups in a second. There is definitely a lot of detail on this car. Maybe, I think I'll just leave it like this and add LEDs. Fold out mirrors. Again, I'll take you on a tour of the details of the car in a second. Even the wheels are shiny. I hadn't noticed that on the pictures. Okay, we got a care package as well, and we'll take a look at that in a second as well. You know what? Let's have a look at that radio to get that out of the way. So, the Traxxas TQI radio. You've probably seen at least this shape before. However, there are definitely different versions of this radio, and this one has more switches and stuff than most. Well, for instance, if you get a Traxxas Slash, you won't get this rocker switch over here and not this 3-position switch over there. You will probably always get trims, steering and throttle trims, and these settings buttons. Okay, so and all of these radios need 4 AA's, which you will have to supply yourself. Reasonable feel, actually. It's ergonomic, at least to me, in my hands. And so, yeah, reasonable. Maybe eventually I'll replace it with my FlySky radio, which I try to use on all my cars, but it'll definitely do. This is not a bad radio. Yeah, so again, we got obviously steering with a nice rubberized grip, very nice. Throttle and brake feel is fine. Then we got trims over here for your steering and throttle, and over here you got 2 little red buttons for the settings. Not super duper intuitive, to be honest, but you can set the radio up with your phone or from your phone, but you will probably need to add an accessory to this radio, a link thing, Wi-Fi dongle stuff for the radio. Then you can connect to the radio from your phone. Yeah, so okay, and as extras we've got this toggle switch, which is most likely for my gearbox, 2-speed gearbox, and we've got this 3-position switch on the top, which is for the diffs, which then obviously have 3 positions, all locked, all open, and only rear locked, maybe. We'll test that. Obviously I'll do driving videos with this car, with this Traxxas car. And we've got an on-off switch at the back over here. There. Yeah. And that's it. That's the radio. So, and that care package is pretty much what you'd expect from Traxxas, I think. We got a couple of tools, some Allen keys and a wheel wrench. We've got some decals, which is always appreciated. And then we've got a manual and some promotional material from Traxxas, probably about their lipos and chargers and other models, whatever, maybe even options for this car. And definitely a proper manual. I won't even take this out of the bag. You've seen it all before. Traxxas makes good manuals with exploded views and such. Before I continue, let me actually explain why I ordered me this Traxxas TRX-4. It is not an inexpensive car, and there are also less expensive versions, the sport version for instance. So first thing, I've never had a Traxxas TRX-4, and these are, I think, these are nice cars. People tell me these are nice cars, so I wanted me one. And also this Bronco body is a little bit lower. The roofline is a little bit lower than the other versions. And there's not like a roof rack on top. There are no heavy plastics up top. So that should aid it in its crawler abilities. It does have this spare tire at the rear. Maybe I'll take that off. That won't help its crawling abilities probably, but we'll see. We'll see how it fares. Also, this is not my only crawler. I also have this Axial SCX-10 version 3 Gladiator, the long wheelbase version. Quite a big car. And I would ideally like one of my crawlers to be a little bit faster. Not hugely fast, but I don't think this Axial car lends itself to well, making it into a brushless version and having it be very fast. Also, this car doesn't have a 2-speed gearbox, so that also doesn't lend itself to making it a very fast car. I do like it, and I featured it in one video in which it failed miserably. So I will do, maybe I'll do a comparison between these two cars. Right? These are definitely competitors also in price, so yeah. And also I'll be doing some upgrades to this car in the future. One of which is the steering servo, for instance. Okay, back to the Traxxas. I'll tell you what, I hadn't anticipated this car to be this hard to make videos about. It's very much black. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but these windows are semi-translucent. They aren't blacked off windows. I can see into the car, but you might not be able to. They are pretty dark. Yeah, it's definitely a very black car. Huh. I knew that, of course. So what I didn't know, or what I hadn't noticed, is that these wheels are also shiny. I had anticipated those to be matte, but they're not. And the body itself is also very shiny. Yeah, it'll catch scratches, and you see everything on this car, dust and stuff. Yeah, that's the downside of black. Okay, so what more can I tell you about this? Yeah, so again, my first impressions, the tires are pretty supple and grippy. Yeah, on this wooden tabletop, they are pretty grippy. Yeah, springs, pretty loose. Shock oil is pretty thick from the feel of it. Yeah, front and back, interesting. Okay, and we'll feel the diffs in a second as well. So, what do you make of this? Again, it looks very much black, of course, but there is still a lot of detail. For instance, these door handles are actually screwed on or glued on pieces, plastic pieces. We've got fold-in mirrors, and that folding action will prevent them from being torn off or being broken in crashes. Eventually we'll obviously have crashes with this car. We've got plastic running boards. We even get crawling scopes at the hood, just like the real new Bronco. Very detailed. This is definitely one of the most detailed TRX-4s. Maybe the Blazer, for instance, has more body detail. Yeah, but if we have a look at, for instance, the grill section, which is an inset plastic piece. The rest of the body is Lexan, but there's a lot of detail in this grill, as you can probably tell. We've got a faux plastic winch, but yeah, the bumper section looks very authentic. And we even have a skid plate over here, plastic skid plate. Again, we do not get LEDs with this car, probably not with any of the TRX-4s, but it does have light buckets. You can upgrade this car, and I will, with LEDs. And probably this car will have nice angel eyes with that. We even have tow hooks, which are plastic. Yeah, they are functional but plastic. Yeah. Okay, and again, a very shiny hood, as you can tell. And we also get windshield wipers, plastic windshield wipers. Obviously not functional, but they are not stickers. They are definitely nice details on this car. Hopefully you can see them well enough. Then at the rear, again, we've got that, it's not a faux spare wheel, it's a functional spare wheel, so that's nice, but that does bring in some weight, of course. And we've got light buckets again, without LEDs, but if you add LEDs to this car, you'll have nice red rear lights, tail lights. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so, and this car does not feature doors or windows that can open, and yeah, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have an interior either, so again, I'm completely okay with the doors not opening. It's a Lexan body, right? And let me actually show you the party trick of this Ford Bronco 2021 edition from Traxxas. You might have seen it in other videos, maybe, or if you are new to this one, you might have noticed that this body doesn't have body clips. Excellent. Now, my actual doesn't have body clips either. Well, actually it does, but at the bottom over here and at the rear. Not super duper convenient. This one has 4 buttons. Button here, button there. In the wheel wells, button here, button there, and hard cheeky day, is that easy, is that easy. Now, if you were to have LEDs in your car, it would be a little less easy, because you now have wires going from the chassis to the canopy, the body, but still. Okay, let's get rid of the warning labels. Oh, not a whole lot of warning labels. Let me get you a top view of this chassis here. Alright, the chassis of the Traxxas TRX-4 Ford Bronco 2021. I must say there's a lot to see here. There's a lot to, well, mention. And also, when Traxxas released their TRX-4 a couple of years ago, they really shook up, turned the crawler scalar market on its head. And there's a lot of engineering in this platform here. I must say I'm impressed. I've been in RC for decades, like more than 40 years. I'm impressed. There's a lot of detail and thought into this car, and they are well regarded, right? When they first released the TRX-4, there were a lot of people that said, yeah, portal axles. The Land Rover doesn't have portal axles, it isn't scale, blah, blah. Yeah, but it does drive pretty well, right? Okay, so again, this is not a new platform, but let me tell you a couple of things that stand out to me. Maybe that's helpful. First of all, you've got 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole, and those will accept fingers, if you will, from the body, and well, that's the way the chassis and the body click together. It feels very sturdy, but it also operates pretty nicely. Nice system. Yeah, there is also a downside to that, and the car maybe has a couple of, I think, 3 downsides, and getting different bodies to stick on this, fit on this car will be one of the downsides. Now, you can actually put normal standoffs on this body, on this chassis. You see the standoff mounts over here and over here. So that's its, well, saving grace. I guess they thought of that. Haha, yeah. So you can definitely use different bodies. The standards don't come with the Ford Bronco though. Keep that in mind. Okay, it has obviously a Traxxas connector over here, which I will replace with XT60. And okay, so in this chassis, and I think that's new to this Ford Bronco version, it has two battery bays. One in the middle, slightly to the rear of the chassis, and that's easy to use, very easy. Super duper easy, very nice system. But if you want more weight on the front axle, you got another smaller battery bay over here, and I will probably definitely use that actually. So maybe for instance a 1600-ish milliamp hour 2S or 3S LiPo will fit over here, whereas over here you'd stick a 5000 or even a 6000 milliamp hour LiPo. Yeah, right? Why not? Or even a nickel metal hydride. So those are your options. And again, I think that's unique or new to this Ford Bronco. Two battery bays. Then we got a 550 can motor over here, brushed of course, and that's not new. We've got, this is definitely not new, the XL5, yeah, so a 3S capable waterproof ESC, and everything is actually waterproof on this car. All servos and even the receiver box over here is waterproof. So speaking of, over here we got a servo which is your gearbox servo, so low and high gear, right? And on the other side of the chassis we got these two servos, which are your diff lockers, and they operate a wire. Is that the correct word? Just like on bicycles or bikes, motorcycles, wires to operate, for instance, your clutch or your brakes. These operate the axles, the diff locks in your axles. And then over here, which will be a little hard to see, is a steering servo, which looks to be a heavier or a stronger servo than your typical blue 2075 Traxxas servo. It is waterproof, and we'll see how it works. Right. So is that everything about the chassis? Let's check if it has bump steer. Well, not at all. Short travel, by the way. This is a short travel. Then when does it pick up the other tire? Oh, there's a lot of flex, not in the chassis, but you've got a lot of articulation in this setup. Okay, a little bit less at the front than at the... Why is that? The front of the car is a little bit heavier, which is a good thing in crawling. Yeah, okay, so let's have a look at the bottom of our chassis. Alright, let's see what we have here. We've got a 4-link suspension, trailing arms if you will, at the rear, and obviously a solid axle, front and back. The axles, are these metal? No, must be plastic, hard plastic though. Drive shafts are plastic. These links are all metal, so that's nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. We have a skid plate in the middle that feels very smooth, so you don't get hung up at that, so that's nice. We've got running boards or slide rails which are plastic, and that's better than aluminium actually. A lot of people will or might upgrade this to aluminium, but this plastic slides at least over rocks more easily. In sandy conditions you might be better off with aluminium, but I think this will do pretty nicely. And we've got frame rails. Yeah, might be hard to see, but those are definitely metal or probably aluminium. And this is definitely a party trick of the TRX-4, especially when it was new. By now a lot of cars have portal axles. And what is a portal axle? Basically a little gearbox in the axle housing, in the wheel housing. Is that the correct word? But it's, well, it's over here and it positions your wheels lower to the axle. So that'll create more clearance for this pumpkin in your axle, or basically for the entire car. And again, that's no longer a unique feature of the TRX-4, but when it was launched, it was, well, it was a revelation in the ready-to-run market for crawlers. So let me actually try to show you a little bit of the inside of the body work, as that mounting system is definitely new, of course. The rest of the body is Lexan, nothing new there. But you see that mounting system over here, the clips. And that's mounted on this assembly over here, plastic. Then that is all mounted onto this subframe, which goes around the entire body. And there's a cross member over here, plastic. So yeah, it is definitely very proprietary to this specific car. But I do hope that Traxxas makes other canopies, bodies available with this mounting system. Would very much be appreciated, I think, not just by me. Tell me in the comment section below what you think of that, but maybe I want to switch out bodies after a while. Maybe the old Bronco body, and preferably without body clips, of course. So, okay, but that's what that looks like. So, guys, that was a quick first look at a brand new TRX-4 Ford Bronco 2021 from Traxxas. Black edition. Very, very much a black edition. Yeah, so I am so far impressed with the build quality, the engineering, and what it looks like. And there are a couple of downsides from the top of my head. Black, you'll see every speck of dust and every scratch. Be aware of that. The other colors will have less of that. But yeah, piano black, glossy, you'll see everything. Okay, so for the Ford Broncos, it has this spare tire wheel thing, and it's pretty high up on the chassis. That won't help its crawling ability, right? But you can obviously take blah blah blah. You can obviously take that off, and it does look very nice. And one other downside to this car, for what it costs, I would have liked to have seen LEDs on this car. Yeah, my actual SCX10 version 3 does have LEDs and it costs less. It is also a less sophisticated car, a little bit, maybe, even though that's debatable. Yeah, I think some LEDs, at least 4 or 6 LEDs on this car, for what it costs, would have been justified. And is that it? Yeah, it might be a little hard to find other bodies that will fit on this new system, but that might be solved in time, right? Yeah, that might be solved in time. Other than that, oh yeah, the tires are glued on. That might be a downside, but that's pretty common on RTRs, right? Even though that axial I have has bead locks. So yeah, it's a downside. You can't reuse these wheels easily. Still, I am very happy with my purchase. Again, I purchased this car with my own money. So this is an unbiased review, first look, show and tell. But I am happy so far. It looks great. Yeah, it looks very, very nice. And the only thing I want to instantly add to this car is LEDs. Okay, maybe this helped you out, this informed you a little bit. If you are left with questions, hit me up a comment down below, of course. I'll have running videos with this car. And thank you very much for sticking around, of course. Catch you on the next video. Bye bye.